Steve. Oh shit. Oh, we've started.
Yeah.
Oh, will we start with the elephant in the room?
What's that, Steve?
Well, firstly, how was your week there?
Let's do a proper intro. And you're very welcome back.
No, that was fine.
No.
That was funny.
It was. But look, you do the joke, you
ruined it.
laugh, and then you bring it back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity. All right? Is that okay with you? Yeah. And you are very welcome back to the last ever episode of the Lads Podcast. What did I say there? I don't know. I didn't say anything. What's the correct boy? How are you?
It's not the last episode. Stop scaring the viewers and listeners.
It's the last
We'll talk
episode.
about that in the morning, lads. We'll talk
will.
about it in the morning. Yeah, grand. How are you, boy?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah. How was your week?
Fuck off. How was
What?
yours?
What? Is that all you have to say? Because I can go on about my week. You
Go
know
on.
I've got news.
Yeah, go on about your week. What's your news? You're pregnant.
Concussed. So
Yeah,
remember,
you're
if you were
concussed.
listening or watching last week, you'll know that I was complaining about, oh, my head's a bit sore. Turns out I literally had concussion and dismissed that fact because I wasn't knocked out unconscious when I did hit my head. But yeah, so I was off work for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Had to get a brain scan and all just in case there was anything seriously wrong, which there wasn't. I'm fine.
Damn.
DM me if you want to see pictures of my skull and my brain.
I think just flake
they
them
sent
up on the Instagram.
It's really cool.
man.
I got what?
I think-
Yeah, I might actually put it as my profile picture. My Tinder picture. I don't have Tinder now, but if I had Tinder, actually I'll set it up just for that. But
Just like, would
but
you go on a
fucking,
date with a man who has a skull and brain that looks like this?
based upon his skull and brain, and you have to guess what the flesh and kind of
How
makeup
superficial
looks
are you?
like. Does he have a good bone structure? That's all I want to know. Yeah, so whacked my head Friday morning last week, over a week ago.
Because we
And,
joked about ending the podcast. It was actually quite a normal length one, but I was like, God, we're finishing it early, and you were like, yeah, I have a sore head, and I was hit my head. It was like the very end of the podcast, in case anyone listened to the end of it. But here we are a week later. Steve still has sore head disease.
Well, I'm pretty good now, but basically because I didn't rest up straight away because I worked for the rest of the day and was doing bits Friday night, and well, no, I did nothing Friday night, but Saturday I was doing bits, and basically that meant that my symptoms didn't really start happening mad until like Sunday and Monday, you know, when I actually sat down and rested. So I was like first nauseous all week, and it was a shit crack, really shit crack. I went back to work yesterday, tried to, and I had to go home because I was still fucked. Slept for like 12 hours and went in today and I was okay. My head wasn't sore, but I was weak, like no energy in me. But just had a coffee and a shower there, so pretty good now.
And
but,
that's what heals concussion, guys. You heard it here first on the Lads Podcast. Coffee
a
and a shower.
and a coffee exactly a week after. Yeah, that's what does it. So do you have any news about your week, or will you address the elephant in the room?
The elephant that's sitting there. I know, we'll leave that there for another while.
Is he alright?
We'll talk about that at
under
the end.
carpet. Under the carpet, you. Elephant.
No, I've just been working all week. Actually, I've started writing a series, as you know, because you're going to be fucking in it and contributing. So, I guess for anyone that cares and watches the sketches,
what sketches? The
man,
Lads Podcast
have you ever
sketches.
heard of Three Me?
Oh, we interviewed him a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah,
Yeah. He was a bit of a wanker. I didn't like him at all.
I didn't like him either. Yeah. Anyway, back to the nightclub anyway, you know.
Aye.
So yeah, you know, I do the sketches. We do, and Steve be in the sketches, and we do be doing the stuff. Now, it sucks that we're in lockdown for many a reason, but one being I can only do stuff on my own in my house, and even at that I'm quite limited. But so what I've been saying, I said I want to do something with higher production value, because funnily enough, the ones that have done really well on the likes of TikTok have, you know, in quotation marks, high production value. They look and sound and are really good. And I said,
and that's all we give a fuck about, lads.
yeah,
The ones that do well.
yes. And
Do you know?
And so I said I want to write something that's a little bit, you know, set in one location, you know, and just have just be a little bit bigger, and not just one, you know, load of once-off random sketches. Maybe a couple of sketches that are in the same location. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself.
No.
But
Yes.
the only thing,
basically, yeah.
The only thing that's worth talking about that was interesting for me this week was we have a location. Look, nothing's in writing, or well, it is in writing technically, but
Nothing's. It's going to be a while away yet, but yeah, basically that's the next project with 3Me is a couple of higher production sketches. Yeah,
that's kind of my next project, on a bigger scale. I'm really excited because after this one, if I can do just a couple of sketches between 5 and 10 in one location with a crew and actors written, the whole shebang, then hopefully by next summer we do something bigger with a bigger budget and a bigger crew and cast. And
then RTE is ours.
Then I just take over RTE and challenge Ryan Tuberty to a duel.
Literally to the death, and I get to moderate this duel.
Now,
yeah, so that's fun.
There's one elephant in the room, but there's a smaller elephant that the visual people of this podcast will have noticed. Steve, why do you have a mustache?
That is the elephant in the room I was speaking about, Dara. That is the literal elephant in the room.
Okay.
I know what you're going to say is the bigger elephant, but that's not a big elephant.
Nah.
That's just a bit of news.
Cool.
But anyway, yes, elephant in the room, lads. If you are a viewer of this podcast on Dara's YouTube channel, myself and Dara both have mustaches.
Well, hey.
Because it is, in fact, if you're listening to this in the future, it's Movember 2020.
Yeah.
And the two of us decided to go with a mustache for the month of November.
Yes.
To raise money for men's health.
In general, yeah, it's kind of mental health for prostate and testicular cancer. So if you want to donate, and we encourage you to do so, please, on my personal profile, that's Dara2me, and Steve's, what's your handle?
Yeah, on Instagram, I think it's Steve_Collins.
Cool. Just look us up.
You'll find me, Steve. I think it might be Stevie_Collins, STEVIE_Collins. Yeah, I'd really appreciate if you donated to either of our things, just any bit you can, or once you're donating to someone.
Yeah,
who's
if
doing
you
Movember,
have a lad friend, if you have a friend who's growing out a mustache, just donate to anywhere you can, and let's see how much money we can raise for charity. And it's something I've wanted to do since I became an adult, and I just didn't have the confidence to do it, man, to sport a mustache, because I was much more when I was younger, but a very insecure guy. And even this, I said it to you a few months back saying, will we do it? And we only said we do it if the other person does it.
No, Dara, this is what you said.
Okay.
This is what you said.
Okay, here we go.
You said, yeah, for the lads podcast, yeah, you should grow the mustache, Steve. And I says, as if I want to. I was like, okay, and what about you? Like, you were like, no, not me, I can't. I was like, shut up, like, you fucking, I'm not doing it unless you do it. And then you were like, I'm not doing it, so I was like, alright, fine. And then it got to like a week ago, and we were like,
the night before,
and we were like, go on, we will. And then you said, I'm going to do it, so, and I was like, yeah, good one, didn't believe you. And then you were like, yeah, I shaved it off, the beard, that is. I was like, oh fuck, fair play, okay, I better do it. So yeah, I started, and mine's somewhat thick at the moment, so I'd say it's going to be disgustingly big by the end of the
Now
month.
you're supposed to go start off clean shaven and then documented growth, but like, because my facial hair grows really slowly, and look, a lot of lads do, I just said I go around about it a different way and just keep the full mustache for the entire month. Fuck it, it's for charity. At the end of the day, it's not a competition.
It doesn't matter. These rules about like, you're supposed to, it's like, who gives a fuck,
So again, please, links are both in our personal bios for the month of November. Just even a few quid towards mental health, testicular and prostate cancer. Nice one.
Good cause, boys. Good cause.
And,
but
on that, I have kept a beard. I haven't shaved it off in 3.5 years straight.
Really?
I've kept it trimmed and neat, but I've never taken it off.
Neat.
Funny. So it was kind of and a lot of that out of just insecurity. The beard hides the weight, and oh god, you must have a Greek god jawline, and that's a reason why I've kept the facial hair and not gotten rid of it. And so this was nice. This was
stop projecting onto our viewers, Dara.
Fuck off. So it was not only, for charity, but kind of for myself as well, to say, if you don't need a beard, you can have one because you like having one, but just fuck it, we'll take it off for charity. And I feel good. I feel it's nice to be able to do that. You know, this is a year. Jesus, if you showed a picture of me now to me a year ago, bald, beardless, mustache, I'd cry. So.
I'm not a fan of it myself, but I guess I agree with you as well. That's a good reason to do it. We're all kind of obsessed with vanity sometimes, aren't we? Not vanity, but we're just
our looks.
Maybe a bit too concerned with our own image, and it's like, Jesus, there's a bigger picture than just us, like, isn't there?
Exactly, and that's what this month is about. So catch us sporting mustaches for a month. And to be honest, I kind of like it. I won't stick.
I think it suits you way more than you think it does.
Thank you.
Like, your one suits you more than my one suits me. Like, mine is kind of jarring. Mine is like, Jesus Christ, what the fuck's man? Whereas I actually think yours looks very suited to you. Like,
thank you, good sir. But I look forward.
You're welcome.
Shut up. Right.
What?
We'll continue on now.
Did he just tell me to shut up?
This is what I believe is the actual.
I swear to
Would
God.
you shut your fucking mouth? Yeah, that's what I said.
As soon as I get to see him
I stutter?
after lockdown,
Steve,
I'm going to give him a big fucking.
Will you answer this question for me?
I'm going to give you a big cuddle.
Will you answer this question? Right?
I'm going to give you a big cuddle.
Steve.
What?
Steve, the question is, did I fucking stutter?
Shut the fuck up.
Okay. The real elephant in the room that we've taken over about 10 minutes to get to is this is the end of season 1 of the Lads podcast. Now, I know that we're going back on what we said last week, in which we said we'd stop clapping. We said we'd do it for the rest of November and take like the month of December off. But we just had a chat with ourselves this week. You actually got on to me and said, I don't want to fucking do it anymore.
No, that's not what happened. I just said
it is.
I think we have come to a natural
conclusion of this season.
Point where, because we've been talking about this season break for a while, and we were like, will we do it at the end of the month? And then it was like, do you know what? I think maybe 4 to 6, about 6 weeks maybe off would be a good idea, because we can plan out a proper way a more structured way to bring it back just before Christmas. And I just basically said we're thinking about it now, so I think we should just consider doing that now.
I will say that we are running out of steam a little bit, and off reasons we've just said before, just because of our lives and schedules and stuff. We've been struggling to research as much as we'd like for this podcast. We have full-time jobs and more, and it's weekly, so it's kind of hard to keep up our end of the bargain on that sense. But so the main point of the break is to restructure it, though, is to make it better, make it more sustainable. Is that the right way to say it? I suppose, tweak
keep it interesting,
to tweak the formula to make it a little bit more structured. We won't give away anything yet, because we're only in early conversations about how we're going to change things up and how we'll come back and what format it'll be. But we will be back. We will be back. We like podcasting too much. I think we're pretty good at it. But
I love it. It's great. But I do think having a season break is a good idea. A lot of podcasts do
and we've just we just did over 5 months straight of this. We haven't missed a week. We did it on our holidays, and I'm just so used to and I've just gotten so used to the edit, so actually it'll be really nice to have the time off, to have weekends
just become part of the job.
It's just part of it, but I am eager to see what we do. We have ideas. We're not winging it either of how we'll change things up.
No, so we will be back.
We will. But a huge thank you to everyone who stuck out from the start, who listens to every Monday morning. I really appreciate that. And I know those people will be disappointed that, a podcast is gone from their weekly pods. And, we do apologize for it, but we hope you understand where we're coming from. And we want it to be the best it can be, and more appealing to a wider audience. Because it's
only
niche.
Temporary.
It's a bit niche.
It's only temporary. And obviously, we hope as well, by the time we come back, that restrictions will have eased enough that we can go back to actually doing it in person. Because this online crack is quite difficult. I don't think we've managed to have a clean podcast yet. My camera or something has happened, cut out.
There's always been a technical difficulty.
So it's difficult enough. But that's our crack. We will be back, and it'll be better, 100%. Thanks to everyone who's listened, and we'll still update the Instagram page. We'll still post clips from previous podcasts every week. Maybe
Yeah.
even a story at the odd time of just updates. So it's not like we're fucking disappearing off the face of the earth.
Yeah, and we're using this time off as well to focus on that mini series. So, and as well as we just said, planning out the next one. So, we'll still be booting it away behind the scenes. And I think just a bit of time off to help us do that.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's the announcement stuff. We were going to do an actual podcast and just have this as a little footnote at the end, but. And we were what did we say? We said we'd do it on the differences between the sitcoms in the US and the UK.
Yeah.
And I think it got to like Thursday. We just said, "Have you done anything for this?" No.
Well, see, I couldn't.
neither.
I couldn't even fuck watch telly this week. Like, let alone fucking. I couldn't go to college. I couldn't do. I had to limit my screen time because of my concussion. So, I was just like, oh man, like even messaging you was fucking tiring me out here. But yeah, basically we both.
Yeah, I find it very tiring to talk to you as well, man.
Yeah, it's actually just you. I just fucking hate you. With that in mind, Dara, what you want to talk about?
Suppose life, the universe,
what the fuck
everything.
does it mean? What the fuck is it all about? Why the fuck am I so miserable? How the fuck do I get happy? Please, can I have a hug? Please, this is hard. No.
Cool. That's cool, man.
That's not all you have to fucking say to me. Cool.
So anyway, I would love to talk in depth about the US presidential election personally because I've been following it. I've been following it so close since it started, but the changes are they're actually much faster than I expected. We record this on a Friday kind of afternoon, pre-evening. It's currently 20 minutes to 5 in the afternoon, pre-evening. And tangent. It's my least favorite part of the day. Between 3 and like 5:30, 7. Fucking hate it. It's such a shitty time of the day.
To be alive, yeah.
Just in general, man. And I call it the pre-evening because it's like evening is after 6. Afternoon is like, noon till like 3, 4, and then it's like it's not evening, it's not afternoon. So what it is, it doesn't even. No, absolutely despise it as a time of day. It's just when you find yourself in that point, you're kind of thinking. Now, you see, fair enough. I've never worked a conventional 9 to 5 like you, so pre-evening is home time for you and some
home
other
time,
people in the world.
Go for my run, make my dinner.
Nah, it's
still an energetic time of day, but I'm not on the fucking. I'm not being watched. I'm not at work, But it's still a productive time of day. So, and then evening is obviously nice and chill and like do nothing. I like.
Out of preference, I've actually really become a morning person since the last kind of 4 or 5 months. I've been predominantly doing the likes of 6 a.m. starts and early mornings, and I've gotten so used to them. And especially with the winter now and the really short days, I'm appreciating mornings so much. It's just it's just energy levels. The whole day's ahead of you. You get stuck into stuff. So that's it's become my favorite. Behind that is evening. I do like evenings because it's usually, that's when you socialize or that's when you chill out and watch telly or whatever. It's a nice time. Afternoon is okay because, lunch, there's energy levels, still bright outside. Pre-evening can fuck off.
What about like 1 a.m. to 4 a.m. in the morning?
That's sleep.
What about
time.
them?
That's sleep time.
Do you not wake up, make a sandwich at that time? No.
Well, I do because there's always evidence and signs of sandwich making everywhere. But I'm asleep, so I can't really enjoy it.
You sleep make the sandwich, don't you?
Yeah, sleep make and eat it.
Toasted cheese sandwiches in your sleep.
No, I just
you don't even like cheese, and yet you make a toasted cheese sandwich.
No. That's wrong. I just want to interject, guys, and apologize for Steve's remark there. That's wrong. That is fake news. I do not make toast and cheese sandwiches. I'll generally make kind of a chicken, mayo, lettuce, maybe a bit of red onion. If I have it stuffing, that's what I'd make at 2 a.m. in my sleep. Not toast and cheese though. Look, I just want to say you're wrong there.
What I'd make is, my sandwich of choice is, because I'm a filthy, disgusting vegan, kind of. I the Irish Pride bread, the blue one, the hearty grain one.
Oh.
Right? Yeah. Oh, that bread. Lather on fucking hummus on every side of it. And then I mash up. Well, not every side. I mean 2 sides, not the outside, 2 sides.
The insides.
Both
Okay,
insides.
so will
though,
you go
know?
back and correct yourself? Don't you just
So-
will you correct yourself there,
So
please?
I literally take a fist and shove it up my ass, and then I slather that on the sandwich. So yeah, hummus, right?
Yeah.
A bit of spinach if I have it. Mash up some avocado, fucking spread it on, and a few
Why
tomatoes
mash it
or
up though?
cherry tomatoes.
Why not just slice it off? You know, it's quicker and easier.
Literally, because the texture of it is just it's all mashed and it's all consistent and yum. Whereas when you slice it up, you kind of got like literally slices of it, and it's a bit of a tray. It's actually
spread
just
it
easier because
around.
it's. I only started doing it recently. I used to just slice it up, but started mashing it up, and then literally I've just got
I
basically
slice
guacamole.
straight out of the avocado itself.
I always used to do that when I'd have it
Dog
as a
handy.
snack on like corn cakes and stuff. But no, I'm liking this recently. Great sandwich though. It's fucking good if you're not a meat eater and you're looking for some kind of fatty, high energy kind of one. You know, really, really good. So that's my sandwich. So how does that relate to the U.S. election?
Yeah. So. So anyway,
How did we get here?
I would love to talk about it more in depth, but again, we do this on Friday afternoons, so by Monday morning or Tuesday, whenever you're listening to this, it could have completely turned on its head. Trump could have somehow miraculously have won, because where we're at
That's
now,
it.
Biden has just taken Pennsilvania and Georgia.
Did he
took
take
Georgia.
them, or is he just in the lead?
That's what I mean. He's gone ahead. I'm surprised that he overtook on both of them, but the postal
I know.
ballots have been good to him.
Yeah, you see, we were expecting, okay, if he takes Nevada and doesn't lose anything else, and then Trump gets Georgia, Pennsylvania, and North Carolina, then
Even if
Biden
he
would
just
have
had won
270.
Nevada, he would have.
Yeah, then Biden would have 270, Trump would have 268, which is so close. But now it's like he's going to beat him by even more. It's looking that way anyway.
The
hope that's
fact that he
true.
has Pennsylvania, Georgia, he could have Nevada and still has Arizona. There's a gap closing there, but maybe not enough. I guess time will
Oh, is
tell.
Arizona
They
on
might
the
still be
cards?
counting, by the time this podcast comes out. But it's looking good for Biden. And look, we're not Biden supporters. We're not Americans at the end of the day, so we don't support anyone over there really. But
No,
I just
but he's still
can't-
fucking. It's nice. I'm just sick of Trump being
yes,
in power.
exactly.
I think the whole world is. He's such a horrible, disgusting prick. Like.
He's just an absolute narcissist. He's not he's not a good politician. He's not interesting. He's just nasty.
No.
And his whole
He's-
thing is being a shithead and being edgy, and diehard Trump supporters, their whole thing, why do you support Trump? Because he triggers the libs. Okay, what about his policy? Anyway, but that's not the point. But like Biden himself, I would be into Bernie. I was a big Bernie bro, and I was following the back in, was it February, coming at the start of March, just before COVID really hit the world. I was following the Democratic primaries, and Bernie was racing ahead, and I was so chuffed. I said, "Oh my god, it's going to be Bernie versus Trump! Fuck yeah!" And then they didn't shaft him like they did in 2016, but they kind of did.
Yeah.
And
How did it go again? I forget
So,
because COVID took over my life then.
again, it's a tricky one to explain. I don't have all the facts, but as far as I'm aware, he was ahead, and it was between Bloomberg, Buttigieg, Warren, and I forget the other candidate. I forget what her name was, but a lot of them like pulled out so last minute that I think their votes, I don't think their votes went towards Biden, but the votes had already been cast, and they couldn't go towards Bernie. So what happened was, in a lot of places, Biden went ahead. And you see, Bernie still, and in battleground states and stuff, but it wasn't over. What happened was when COVID hit, Bernie just bowed out, and that's kind of his thing. He just kind of disappears from it. But I was very disappointed. I said, "Oh Jesus Christ, it's going to be another 4 years of Trump." And the thing is, the Democrats would, just like with the whole thing with Hillary, is they'd rather lose to Trump than win with Bernie. Bernie, the Dems don't like Bernie. He's
too socialist for them, you see.
Yeah, even with his diet socialism, he's too radical for the Democrats.
I love when people think that a Biden victory is going to solve all America's shit. Like,
not at all.
It will not. It is a huge step in the right direction to get that prick out of power, though.
Yeah,
But,
Trump was
it's still a fucking the country still has its problems. Like,
Oh,
and look,
massively, and
we're
he's
not
not
Americans, so I don't want to be saying, no, it's a fucked up country. I don't mean that, but I think most Americans acknowledge that, there's a lot of problems there.
Biden's very centrist, very, moderate, very middle of the road, he's a Democrat. He's he's not going to inspire massive change. He mightn't even do anything, but the main thing, I just can't wait to not hear about Trump anymore. The last 4 to 5 years, and
every day,
the precedent that it set, man, was the whole thing that like he got away with everything. It would be the stuff that he'd come out with, or the stuff that he did, would be career-ending for politicians in the past. But it was just, it's exactly. Trump. And
no, literally, he just like I'd say he was aware of all of this. He's literally just every day go, what can I get away with now? I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna tweet I saw, I'm not on Twitter anymore, but I had to go and check. I saw his Twitter feed today. I think there's 2 tweets that aren't marked as sensitive. That aren't marked as sensitive content. It's like, it's so brilliant. Bizarre. And that's why, and I was genuinely, up until a couple of days ago, I was like, he's going to be in for another 4 years. And
I
it's
thought
just
so too.
Another 4 years of chaos and just, like, what the fuck is reality? You know what I mean? Just pure.
But everyone's just been accepting the last 4. That's just no one's, because he's so powerful and is such a loyal rabbit at times. Supporter base. No one would. No. In fairness, I wouldn't say no one questioned him, but no one in power. No one could stand up to him. The media would just Trump
leaves him off.
This. They'll leave him off. He'd wow, Trump said this. Oh no, and that would be it. And I'm just
it's the only thing is that's like potentially a very dangerous precedent, isn't it?
And yes, exactly. And I would have been worrying to what he could. You see, if he had another 4 years, he doesn't have to win another election. That's the safe. He could do whatever he wanted. Whereas you see, with the first term, you kind of have to be re-elected. But COVID was his downfall, to be honest. I would say if there was no COVID, it would be a different story.
Terribly handled.
How he handled it was monstrous. So I'm excited to, hopefully, fingers crossed, he loses, to not have to fucking hear about Donald Trump anymore, and to not have to listen to his supporter base anymore. Really,
literally, I feel like a lot of that will just disappear from my internet feeds now. I won't have to fucking hear it because. They can't just be like, my Trump. It's like, no, Trump lost. That's it. You can forget about him for at least 4 years if he wants to ever go again.
Now, the thing is, though, he could run again in 4 years. And do
you think the Republicans would have him again, though?
That's the question.
He'll be like the 4th president to not serve a second term.
Yes.
If he doesn't get in.
Now,
they've all of them. Like, I think the last president to not serve a second term was George Bush Sr.
Yeah.
And that was in the early 90s, late 80s?
Late 80s, I believe.
It was after Reagan and before Clinton, wasn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
Look at me, huh?
Well, hey.
Knowledge.
What I've been, just because I've been, again, as I said earlier, I've been glued to it, so I've been reading and watching everything I can, just because, fuck it, why not? Nothing else to do.
Our election's over,
But the thing is, right, if he was to run again in 4 years, it depends. Do the Republicans back him again after this travesty of a campaign? Pardon me, 1 second. Do the Republicans back him again, or does he come back and run as an independent? What that'll do, you see, is it will completely split the Conservative vote. Because the Republicans will vote for the Republican candidate, and then the Trump supporters go for supporting for Trump, and then it means Democratic win. So I'd say he'll probably try get back in with the Republicans, but it'll be interesting now because he's been their boss for the last 4 years. You couldn't really stand up to him. The whip. How political parties go. There's a whip. You toe the party line. But now, if he loses, and he's gone, they can recoup. And do they say, we're fucking, the Trumpism is over? Maybe what I'm thinking, they could say, we're just like, Labour in the UK had the new Labour in like 2004, 2005, the Blairite Labour.
Yeah. The
that was
Tories.
Yeah, exactly. The new Labour. they might come back with the new Republicans. Hey, we're the Republicans for the modern age. Post-Trump, we're great.
Oh, very interesting. Yeah,
so that's
very
what
spicy.
I'm thinking they could do. I would prefer that than just running Trump again. But it's
of course you prefer that, because then, as you say, there's like way less a chance of those right wingers coming into power.
Biden, God, I just can't wait to not fucking have to hear about what the American president is doing and worry about other things in the world. What are you worrying about in the world, Steve?
Well, only my concussion the last week or so, but other than that, no, nothing. The back house is all I'm worried about.
Yes, and I would like to call you out on this public platform, this public forum, that this time last week, Steve said, this is the last podcast in my bedroom before the back house. Steve, fuck you.
I'll explain, right? So, yes, the back house is nearly done. The kitchen is going to be finished tomorrow, right? And the only thing I'm waiting on then is the plumber to hook up the kitchen sink and the wash machine and the bathroom. Then it is done. He was been very delayed, and he rang today to apologize. He said, I'm so sorry, look, I know you wanted to try and get in this weekend, but I've just basically shit went down.
Excuses, man.
Shit went down everywhere in the job.
The listeners don't care. You've lost the listeners' trust.
No,
you promised them a week ago that you would be down the back house.
It's not my fault. Basically, anyway.
He
said his words were, "I promise. I absolutely promise that by next Friday, so a week from while we're recording this, he says you'll be sleeping there, and his words, you'll be shitting down there and showering and doing what you want." That was his words, the words of a plumber, and he's a good guy, so I trust him. And he just has a day or two to do, he said, and so next weekend I'll be down there. But that's the crack. So I'm very sorry to all our listeners and viewers that I lied to you. But look, I didn't mean to. It's just what happened, isn't it? Is there anything else before we go? Sandwiches.
I mean,
very good. Yeah.
Yeah, to wrap things up now, like, it's we will be back before the end of the year. I mean, we're aiming to come back in December, back to it. So,
but mid December, we hope.
Yeah, sure. Let's not put an absolute time on it, but we will be back before the end of the year, and we'll get the podcasts in.
Yeah.
So I was saying, there's no point to wrapping up 2020 as a year, but I did have a bit of a positive affirmation earlier today. In a very weird way, 2020 has been one of the best years of my adult life. And for most...
A lot of people think this, Dara.
Really?
Yeah. A lot of people have... I've seen this a lot on social media about how it's actually taught people so much about themselves, and they've grown so much from it.
Yeah, true.
And I totally get it too. To some extent, it's the same.
There's a lot of making the best of a bad situation. And look, I'm lucky and privileged that I got to not only keep my job but move up to a full-time position in it due to the nature of the industry that I just happened to work with. And similar to yourself, we both got to keep working. But I mean, it's so strange for such a absolute bastard of a year. I mean, this was the year, I remember the very start, before any of this pandemic, this was the year that started to take sketches. I fell back in love with making sketches again. I remember you saying this to you and stuff, because before then there was a lot of phoning it in and trying to be relatable and not knowing where I'm going with it. But I think because I still had TikTok as this platform I was doing well on, this is well before I blew up, in a sense, on it. But I remember saying to you, Steve, was, hey, I'm actually going to make sketches aimed at TikTok, and we're going to put in the effort. I'm going to put in the effort again. I fell back in love with it. So there was that. There was the success there with a few bits of the early start, at the start of the year. I shaved my head when the pandemic kicked off.
Did.
This is, again, probably the most significant moment of my adult life, because I've been dealing with losing my hair since I was 18, 19, and you fucking know the story of being so up the walls over that. But taking the bull by the horns and shaving my head and being a happy bald man, that was amazing. Then getting to move into a less stressful role in work in which I can go full time, and then that allowed me to move out of my parents' house in the middle of a pandemic, and I'm living out of home, and that's been amazing. I got to do 22 weeks straight of a podcast with my best pal that has run pretty damn well. I got to go viral on TikTok with now over 100,000 followers. There's been a lot of good things in my personal life that I won't divulge just because I'm actually quite private. We'll leave it at that. Is there anything else?
He's up to shit.
What the fuck is he up to?
I've got dirt on him, lads. I'll get it on him.
I'm actually a bank robber.
He is.
But yeah, there's just been a lot of good happening, and just it's been nice. I think today I had a moment of just kind of sitting with it and going, hey, as shit as this year is, and we can all agree on that as a fact, there's been so many good things that have happened during that, maybe because of it at the same time, and things have been good, and I'm eager to press on, and I'm going to wrap this year up with starting to put together a mini series, and I'm excited to see. Oh, and I went to college. Yeah, I did a 6-month degree, and I have a certificate in digital marketing. So I got educated this year. It's been a fucking good year in a very weird way. I miss pints. I miss seeing my friends regularly.
Whenever you can.
That's fucking sucks. Not getting to see friends in weeks now. But we're all in this together. But yeah, it's been a good year, and look, it's not over yet, but fuck it, since we're closing things up.
It's been great watching you grow, Dara. I've been very.
I know. I'm 6.5 foot now.
He is.
It's amazing.
You should have seen it, lads. Like COVID hit, and your man just started growing inches. Like I was like, fucking hell, like.
Finally,
he's 6'6".
Finally,
he is the distance that you're supposed to keep away from. He's 2 meters tall now.
If someone goes, oh man, I can't be there, I just lie down.
Yeah,
and they're like,
that's our that's our measuring tape there. You know, that's how you know. Great. He's very handy. Yeah. Look. I agree with you in a lot of ways. I find the same. It's I guess it's been challenging for more. I don't know. Not really. I haven't found it too bad either, to be honest, because it's the first lockdown was nice. It was a real realization that life is going way too fucking fast, and it just made me appreciate that the time I do get to socialize with people a lot. And obviously it's hard to adjust to the new normal and stuff, but now it's just like back to it now, you know. And just look, hopefully things will get back to the original normal eventually. It might be a long time.
I don't think we'll ever go back to the original normal. I'm look. This is a whole different conversation, and this is an escapist podcast to an extent, so we won't get into it too much. But
Dara thinks COVID-19 will never go away, and he's allowed to have that opinion.
I think that it's going to be an endemic, personally. I don't want it to be.
I don't. I'm quite optimistic about it, and I'm never the most optimistic person, but I do think it's going to go away.
Depending.
I do. I think it'll be bait. I just don't think it's going to happen by fucking the end of this month or whenever they think vaccines are going to start dishing out. I think it'll.
I think next summer is just going to be the same as last summer, and maybe the world and the economy will have adapted a bit more so that, you know, we have this illusion of normal, but I don't think we will be seeing nightclubs. Then again, I mean, Europe just opened up back to normal. Mainland Europe.
Exactly, man.
Now they've locked down, but they've locked down again.
Yeah,
so.
I know. Maybe it'll be just seasonal lockdowns. I don't know. Look, I'm optimistic that a vaccine will eventually work, and that'll be it.
I'm not really thinking about it.
That's besides the point. As you said, we have to escape. That's our 2 cents done.
But actually, no. On that, I'm not really thinking about it. I'm staying up to date with the news, and I'm following the laws and regulations. Yeah. But I don't sit with it for too long. I don't go, oh, what's going to happen next summer? Bar that little thing we just had there. I generally don't.
Exactly,
I just take it as it comes.
Day by day, yeah. Which is the way to.
I think it's a thing as you get older. Because when you're young, you're wishing your life away. It's like, oh, when I finish college, when I turn this age, now I want to slow down. Yeah. I want to stay young.
Yeah, you're going to be 26 in 2 months' time. So it's like, oh, here we go. Fuck. Actually, 1 month's time.
Holy fuck! In a month and 3 days. A month and
3 days, Dara.
26.
And then you'll be 26 like me.
And it's actually aging, man, has been one of my biggest incentives to do what I love. Just to cop. Just look, you might lose a bit of sleep, or you mightn't get to watch that movie, or hang out with that friend, or do that TV show, or do something that you just get immediate satisfaction out of. I need to put X. It's mainly through me, and I guess my freelance work as well. But I've been able to. It's been an incentive. It's like, if not now, it's not going to be ever, because maybe in my 30s, I don't know what I'll be doing in my 30s. So, but I don't know. But the best time to do something is now. Or I think the old saying is, when's the best time to start something? 10 years ago, when you're older, I guess. So, fuck it. Enjoy the time we have, guys.
Yeah.
And live, laugh.
That was a lovely
level 5.
That was a lovely thing. I think live, laugh, level 5. Sorry, the delay is is worse tonight, so we're probably interrupting each other more than we should. But I think that was a nice note to leave it on, boy. Thanks so much to everyone who has listened to this, viewed it, and told us that they enjoyed it and interacted with us on Instagram and stuff for the last 6 or 5 months. We've had a fucking ball, haven't we? And we look forward to come back in a couple of weeks' time and bringing you more content.
We'll come back at it stronger, better, faster. We're going to talk way faster.
Oh my god, like, lads, we're practicing. It's hilarious. You should see it. Our voices will be higher pitched as well.
Higher pitched, like at the very start of this podcast, it'll just be
our mustaches will still be there.
It'll still be growing.
Because we'll be those two who say, I actually like the mustache, I'm gonna keep it after Movember. So yeah, I think will we say goodbye for a while?
So subscribe to Steve's OnlyFans, and God bless.
Only cans, lads. Right, good luck.
See ya. Go on.